Have you ever changed your mind about something? It's a complex process. In this video, we explore the theories behind attitude change and why some beliefs are tough to shift. Understanding this can improve your personal life and even your career. Attitudes can change, but sometimes they resist change. Social psychology offers theories explaining when and why these changes happen. Today, we'll dive into three major theories: cognitive dissonance, self-perception, and the elaboration likelihood model. Let's start with cognitive dissonance theory, developed by Festinger in 1957. This theory explains the uncomfortable tension we feel when holding conflicting thoughts. For example, I smoke versus smoking kills. This discomfort motivates us to find balance. In a classic experiment by Festinger and Carlsmith, in 1959, participants did a boring task. Some were paid $1, and others were paid $20 to tell someone the task was fun. Those who received $1 experienced more dissonance. They thought, I lied for just $1, maybe the task is interesting. Those paid $20 justified their lie easily, experiencing less cognitive tension. Cognitive dissonance plays a significant role in behavior change. Interventions like inducing hypocrisy encourage changes in attitudes. For instance, a social worker may ask a client to reflect on their advice to promote safe behavior, prompting them to reassess their actions. Now, let's move to self-perception theory, proposed by Bem in 1972. This theory suggests we understand our attitudes by observing our behaviors, mainly when our initial beliefs are weak. It helps explain why performing small favors can lead to stronger commitments. Next up is the Elaboration Likelihood Model, created by Petty and Cacioppo in 1986. This model describes how persuasion works through two routes, central and peripheral. When motivation and ability are high, people engage in central route processing. They analyze arguments carefully. Attitude change here relies on strong, logical arguments. This change is lasting and predictive. Conversely, with low motivation or ability, people depend on peripheral cues. They might be swayed by attractiveness or message length. Changes made this way lack durability and can easily shift again. For instance, consider a client seeking help for depression. If they feel motivated and understand the treatment options, they'll evaluate the evidence carefully. Yet, if they're overwhelmed, a simple recommendation might sway them instead. Beyond these routes, there are other factors affecting persuasion. Source credibility, like trustworthiness and expertise, enhances persuasion. Attractiveness also plays a role, especially in peripheral processing. Longer messages can be convincing when strong, but they can backfire if weak. Fear appeals can shift attitudes too, but they must provide actionable steps. Without guidance, fear can make people avoid the message altogether. Finally, let's discuss why attitudes resist change. Strong beliefs linked to personal identity or values are harder to shift. They are often supported by our social networks too. Inoculation theory suggests that exposing people to weak counterarguments prepares them for stronger challenges later. Social workers can use this by role-playing scenarios, allowing clients to rehearse their counterarguments against negative influences. In summary, understanding the theories of attitude change helps us navigate our beliefs and behaviors. Whether in therapy, education, or everyday life, these concepts are powerful. So, next time you find yourself stuck in a belief, remember these theories. Challenge your thoughts, reflect on your behavior, and don't shy away from change. If you enjoyed this video, like, share, and subscribe. Turn on notifications for more insightful content. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What challenges have you faced in changing your attitude? Let's discuss.